This is Around and About, focusing on people and events in our community.
One of the most important activities you can do with young children to stimulate learning is to read to your child. For educators, developing curriculum around literature helps to address fundamental learning concepts. Betsy Peters is an early education teacher with Siskin Children's Institute and has published a children's book along with curriculum materials.
I teach at Siskin Children's Institute. I'm the lead teacher with 2 other teaching partners. I plan lessons and provide opportunities for the children to grow through embedded learning opportunities. I have 14 3-year-olds. 50% of my children have disabilities, and the rest of them do not. They're typically developing because Siskin is reverse inclusion, where you would have your 50% of children that have developmental disabilities, and you include the typically developing peers because that's what nationally is recognized as best practice for children.
The name of the book is Worms Like to Wiggle. Working with young children ensures that Betsy Peters did not have to look far for inspiration for her book.
I had a little girl in my class, and she was constantly moving, and I couldn't find a book that really captured her attention. It needed bold colors, it needed rounded corners because she had a disability, and she needed to be able to mouth it. It needed to be big so that she could see it, and it needed to be simple so that it could capture her attention and keep her attention span. I was working at Virginia Commonwealth University on a project for one of my classes. I thought it'd be the perfect opportunity to write a book. I had one of my friends illustrate it, so it started out as a real small project, and then I went back and decided that it looked pretty good, so I tried to publish it. I decided that I was not the only teacher in the world that needed a book that would work for developmentally younger child, but older in age, with lesson plans already written with it. When I wrote the book, I was in Virginia, and I corresponded it to the Virginia Foundation Blocks for Early Competencies in Young Children, and went through each of those standards and wrote a lesson plan to go with each standard based on this one book. It also follows the Tony Linder's Read, Play, and Learn philosophy, which is you read a book over several weeks and really immerse the classroom in it to provide opportunities for the kids to learn based on one piece of literature. So I decided that I would go back and make it easy for teachers and just put it on the website, and people would be able to go on there and download activities and use them straight away in their classrooms.
Curriculum tools can be quite costly and are typically sold independent of the literature they support.
I actually decided to open a publishing company myself. It is called Curriculum Enrichment Publications, so that I could have a little bit more control over what went into my books and what I could do with my books in terms of writing lesson plans and making curriculums for teachers, and not putting that added extra cost onto the teacher, because when you get into using bigger publishing companies, a lot of times they want to charge for everything that you do related to the book. And one of the goals was that it's something easy for teachers to get, and it doesn't cost anything because teachers just don't make that much money.
Betsy Peters incorporates her book into her own classroom, and the children seem to enjoy it.
They respond really well. It's a book about wiggling. Who doesn't respond well to that? You get them up, get them moving. They love to do animal noises. All 3-year-olds love to do animal noises. The trick is trying to get them to do the animal noise and wiggle at the same time, so that's pretty fun. They like to do the motions of the different animals, the galloping. They like to count every animal in there. There are either 1 to 6 of them, which is intentional to correspond with the standards. Each child needs to know 1-to-1 object correspondence up to 6 before they enter kindergarten. It helps with that as well.
The curriculum materials and activities available to download free at the website has been a boon to teachers as well.
They have loved it. They said, "Oh my goodness, thank you. This makes it so easy. All I have to do is get the book, print out the lessons, and I'm ready to go in my classroom on Monday morning. They don't have to go recreate the wheel. It's already there for them. Quality, lesson plans, and activities that they can easily just pull off the computer and do with their children." I had one teacher who does an inclusive play group over the summer, and her entire theme was Worms Like to Wiggle. And so the kids were so excited when they finally met me, and they were saying, "Oh, you're the author of the book," and they were excited. And she used that as her entire theme for the summer. And at the end of the program, each child got a book, and I came and signed it and read it to them. And they had enough activities provided by the website. They could run an entire summer program based on it. And she has it in her classroom now as well.
The activities available on the website are not just for educators.
www.wormsliketowiggle.com. And it also has a really important piece on there, the piece for parents, ways for parents to take this book and use it in their homes with their children and extend the learning activities all the way through the home. Because kids learn best, I feel, through music, play, activity. The book incorporates all of that. There's a song that goes with it that can get the kids up and moving. There's motions that you can do throughout the book, and it also helps with active listening. If you want a child to listen to a book and build up their tolerance to listen to longer stories, then you've got to get them involved in that story. So this is an easy book to get kids involved in so that they may be active participants and active listeners to the story.
Betsy is already working on her next children's book, complete with the educational materials to make this project classroom ready.
I've just completed writing Out in the Garden. It should be out in the spring of '09. It's another book that is going to have curriculum materials with it. We've worked with a registered nurse who's working on furthering her degree, and she will be writing pieces of the curriculum, and I will be doing the teaching piece of putting that knowledge together in a format for young children. And Out in the Garden is to promote positive body image. So it's another wholesome, healthy book that will be a standalone book that you could read by itself and enjoy, or in your classroom with curriculum materials.
You can meet the author and illustrator at a book signing in Chattanooga this weekend.
Saturday, November 22nd, out at Barnes & Noble, the New Hamilton Place location, inside the mall. It's a brand new store. It's very nice. I will be there with the illustrator.
Worms Like to Wiggle, a children's book designed to educate preschool children, is available at Barnes & Noble. The curriculum materials related to the book are available free at www.wormsliketowiggle.com. The author, Betsy Peters, and illustrator, Lindsay Yerby, will be available for book signing this Saturday from 2 to 4. For Around and About, this is Rabbit.
Around and About is a production of WUTC, with contributions by the staff and volunteers of WUTC.